Ko Putaparioni, Tanaka.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker. I take a call on behalf of New Zealand First in the second of this trinity of legislation that will see a number of treaty settlements come to conclusion in terms of the legislation that will see those particular settlements completed as far as this House is concerned. And I hope that that is the case, that somewhere down the line where there are further breaches in spite of the settlements that have been made today, then I just hope that I don't live to see that day. Mr. Speaker, the bill itself records the Crown breaches of the Treaty of Waitangi against the iwi of Atiawa. And as a previous speaker alluded to, it provides a new relationship between the Crown and Atiawa. And I don't need to repeat those breaches that have led to this day. Suffice to say that those breaches were part of the, shall I say, the darkest parts of our history of this country, particularly as it affected Te Atiawa and the rest of the indigenous people of this country, Mr. Speaker. Reference has been made to the Peka Peka block, and probably because of those issues it became the genesis of the battles that took place that saw Te Atiawa lose their land by way of confiscation. But this bill certainly provides the platform for Te Atiawa to regain economical, cultural, and social sovereignty for their people. And I want to emphasize that the settlement is for their people, because I know that, and particularly from reports in the media, that there are other organizations who see these settlements as an avenue for them to have the benefits of. And I'm talking about certain government departments, certain local bodies, all mentioning that these settlements will be an advantage to things like infrastructure. And I just want to say to the iwi that this settlement is for you and your people, and you determine how it should be utilized in order to promote yourselves both economically and socially. And I want to make that point, and I can't make that point too strongly, Mr. Speaker, because already I've noticed that some iwi who have settled have gone into those arrangements, and possibly at their own desire. But I just want to make the point that these settlements are for the particular iwi, and in this case it's Te Atiawa. Of course, with this settlement, there is still the issue of the Waitara lands, and the previous speaker articulated those concerns very well, and I don't need to repeat them, sir. I'll suffice to say that that is a matter that is still to be considered by this House. It's now before the Maori Affairs Select Committee, and we have yet to hear all the submissions that have been made, and we will do that by visiting Waitara early in the new year. But I also want to say that again, like the previous bill, New Zealand First still has that concern, and in this particular bill I refer to clause 77, particularly in terms of 77 subsection 2, where it imposes on the council that it must make those appointments. And yet, under the local government bill, the word that is used is may. Now, we wouldn't have had any problem with the word may, because it gives the local body the choice. Now, in this instance, and in the instance of the previous legislation, and no doubt in the one that's yet to be heard, sir, the question of must places the compulsory emphasis on the local bodies. Now, if local bodies aren't, or the people that appoint local bodies or elect local bodies aren't in favor of that, then the respective councils have to face that difficulty, sir. But again, apart from that, and I want to reiterate also our objection to the fact that groups like Federated Farmers are recognized in the same way. We oppose that as well. And we believe that Maori are no less and are just as good, if not better in some cases, to represent their people, their community on councils by being elected. And the recent local body elections, sir, have shown that a number of Maori around the country, admittedly, is not as many as we'd like to see to reflect the percentage of our people as part of the overall population of this country. But the fact that we have Maori who have been elected on their own merits, not because they're Maori, but because of their own merits. And I just want to refer to my relative who's become the mayor of Porirua. That's all part of it. We subscribed to that when we signed the Treaty of Waitangi. And I believe that, sir, while this is the request, this is what was agreed to by the negotiators, that is their right. But all we're saying, sir, that we can get Maori onto councils, if that is the wish of this particular clause, to get Maori onto councils, then we can do so by the mainstream of electing our people. And we need to tell our people to get out there and vote. Now, having said that, sir, I have no difficulty in terms of the settlement that has been agreed between Te Atiawa and the Crown. But suffice to say that even amongst the iwi, there are people who disagree with the settlement. And so like them, we exercise that same privilege here in the House, sir. But having said that, I want to wish Te Atiawa and those who have been charged to carry the terms of the settlement through all the best for the future. Because as one negotiator said, that he had to wait until his great-grandchildren arrived and before this settlement has got to this stage. Nā reira e tātou mā, tēnā koutou, kia ora māno tātou.